Hello there. I was just inspired by a gentleman, Robin, on his website Old Dog New Tricks, to do this video on contracts. I've been studying contract law, and you can study at any age because I just love information. And right now there's so much, isn't there? So I'm here staying with a friend to watch her pet for her, and while she's away at work, working on a production of some kind. But I wanted to talk about contracts and how what I don't understand and why no one is addressing it on the internet is that contracts, all contracts, if they're using our straw man, straw woman, the birth certificate, all caps, which makes us a dead entity, which makes us a corporation, and we do commerce with other dead corporations, by the way, which are, I'll name them. I hope to get to that. I wanted this to be a short one, though, but if we're contracting with them, and yet we were coerced and in fraud, and no, there was not enough disclosure, we went ahead and our parents signed that birth certificate without full disclosure. And many times they will pressure a mom or dad to sign to create that right before they can leave the hospital. Midwives, I doubt if that happens with midwives. Of course, the name used to be just put in the Bible. Not that you need a Bible for that. You can have some sort of family book, family notation that you are born or that you have a child born. Otherwise, when you're contracting with a state, you are the state. Same with marriage licenses. You're contracting with the state. So the gentlemen that have been, taken to the cleaners for more than she deserved or whatever. I deserved quite a bit, by the way. I deserved a lot. But my friend from England said, well, gee, $50 a day isn't very much, is it, darling? So, she was pretty funny. If you hear some noise in the background, there's a kitten here running around. To get back to what I was saying, we have contracted with the state in so many different ways. In birth certificates, of course, we've contracted so our children are wards of the state. So if they take your child, if CPS takes your child or the cops come in and swat you and take your child, they've got a right to your child. That's their child. It belongs to the state because we gave them a contract with all caps their name, all caps our name. Of course, we didn't sign it that way because I sent for the genealogy copy from North Dakota of mine, and it's in my mother's signature. I know her handwriting. And it's beautifully done, and she did it 8 days after I was born, so she didn't really have to do it to leave the hospital. So something told her that she needed to have that birth certificate in place. And then the social security that we get, some of us that are over a certain age, that you can still get that, even if you cancel it. If you cancel your birth certificate and make it an authenticated birth certificate or an apostille, which I would need if I were to go overseas and teach in another country, I'd need an apostille or an authenticated birth certificate. You can get that very easily, but always ask for the genealogy copy, which is the real birth certificate written in the writing of the parents. And that's the real one. Not the one in all caps that was created for you by some typewriter in some office in some vital statistics state part. Although, they probably don't know what I'm talking about anyway. I've done tons of research, but coming back to Robin of his wonderful website, which is Old Dog New Tricks, and he has a terrific business that everyone should sign up to right now. He's got a special on, which makes you a secured party creditor. And his company is Secured Service Co. Secured Services Co. or Secured Service Co. You'll have to check on that. But he's in the state of Washington. Uh-oh, it's a blue state. I'm in the belly of the beast. Yes, I am. But I'm coping well. I am kind of a centrist, but leaning a little more to the right, I guess. I'm a gun-toting gal, you know what I'm saying? Don't mess with me. So let's get back to the all contracts. That all contracts are pretty much null and void. Because if they used your straw man, your straw woman, the one that you can actually change now through being a secured party creditor, you can change that and you can stop all contracts. Therefore, was my marriage valid? No, it wasn't. My marriage contract was not valid. My daughter's birth certificate's not valid either because I was coerced into creating it. It's undisclosed fraud. And by the way, fraud has no statute of limitations, so you can sue to the heavens if you can find a lawyer who's not connected with the bar or connected with the crown or connected with the judge. There's not many of those really ethical attorneys around. That's why Shakespeare had the famous line, which I won't repeat right now. But much of Washington, D.C. Are attorneys. Duh. So if you can find a lawyer who will sue the pants off the cartels that actually did all these contracts with us, and we're talking about the DMV, I can't wait to walk in there with my paperwork and go, hello there, and be really polite. Always be polite because you're dealing with sociopaths and psychopaths, and I can't even say it. I get all mixed up. But you're dealing with some crazy people who want money. They have their hand out. And when I hand my paperwork and say, you know, I'm not doing any commerce with my car. I'm just, you know, driving myself. I'm traveling in my venue, in my car. I'm not driving in a vehicle. I am traveling in my venue, in my car. And this right here says there's absolutely no law that says I am supposed to have a license because I'm going to be nice. So then no tags. They're going to go and run to their boss and go, what's going on? What's going on? And they don't know that they're working for a criminal operation, a cartel that's just taking money from people. All these corporations are just taking money from people. And no tags. I won't have to have tags, a license. I'll put a plate on there, of course, you know, so that I can be identified if I do harm to someone else. And we're talking about harm here because we have gotten away from civil law or common law. We didn't get away from it. They did. And they run the show, especially when we're busy raising families. And they're out trying to figure out, well, how can I make a buck and how can I screw everybody and be a thief and enslave everybody? This is what psychopaths think about. This is what I worry about, too, is what are we going to do with the psychopaths if they don't have anybody to enslave anymore? What happens to the psychopaths? What do we do with them? We better find something for them to do. That's all I can say. So, anyway, you are in charge of yourself. You're a big girl now. You're a big boy now. You can do the research and find out that you are not a corporation. You're a living, breathing, blood flows in you, in your veins, man and woman, and you can step out of the dead entity corporation that you have been thrust into. Yes, you will still get your Social Security money per month because that is a corporation. That is the other all caps corporation. And of course, hey, if they're going to take money from you, you're going to take money back and use your corporation if you have to. But when you're stopped by a police officer or a code enforcer, you will say, sir, I don't wish to answer any questions. May I go on now if there's no further controversy? Things like that. Oh, there's the kitty. Isn't that the cutest kitty? That's the behind kitty. That's the Persian cutie kitty. So in closing, I'll probably do more films of this type because I want to help women, vulnerable people. Guys, you're not so vulnerable. Women, you're not so vulnerable either. You can do the reading and go to the library and print off your copies, and you might have to rearrange some things, but you can also contact Robin of Secured Services Co. and see about his particular situation, which would be good for you. I'm trying to do things myself because I just really want to learn every single corner of this so I can help others, not to make a business so much as just to help others, help vulnerable people figure this out so they don't be taken advantage of anymore. And the children that are trafficked, oh my gosh, the children that are trafficked, they can sue the ass off any cartel or anybody if they can survive. Those million children that are missing every year, I mean, that's an issue. That's not being talked about much. But mostly this one, and they can sue those cartels because they were coerced and they were lied to. And same as those girls that went in to be masseuses in Epstein's facility there. Why would their mothers allow them to be masseuses? First, number one, I can't figure that one out. But anyway, 14-year-old masseuses, if I understand that one. And so they can sue like crazy and they'll be set for life. And they can sit back and have these horrific memories of Epstein on top of them. Sounds horrible, doesn't it? But yet, you know, you can have a nice life after that, I guess, if you can sue with the right attorney. If he has a security team, that's going to be even better. So, in closing, if I know how to do that, there are no contracts because they've all used and coerced you to use your birth certificate, which is all caps a dead entity, and you're a living, breathing person and always was on the land, and you're a state citizen and a national. You're not a U.S. citizen. That was made up. Somebody made that up like they made up the word racism, or they made up race. There's no races. There's people that have different skin color, maybe different facial structure. I took anthropology. Big deal. We're all humans. We're all humans, unless we're humanoids. So you can see I have a sense of humor. So I want you to all do the study and do the research and find out who you really are, how powerful you really are, because they're running scared at this point, and we're starting to get the remedy. and we're starting to get a handle on this whole thing. Those of us with intellect, and then we're gonna help those that don't quite know what to do. I'm not saying they're not of intellect, but we're going to help those who are vulnerable. At least I will do the best I can to do that by informing through these films and other films. And have a wonderful week from Connie.